Hey guys, happy Monday. In today's reaction video, I'm going to be doing when judges erupt in the courtroom. Make sure you like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss a video. Happy Monday. Let's get right into the video.
Today's episode, we're looking at when judges erupt in court.
Are you kidding me that you...
When you think judge, you think high authority and calm rational thinking. But just like the rest of us, they're also prone to completely losing their
I asked you a question.
So let's have a look at 5 judges who did exactly that. Our first case is Judge Wayne Culver. He's a judge in Seminole County who became known for an outburst he had on what was for him not a good day in court. Kevin Newton was with his sister when he entered a courtroom as part of the public gallery, but Judge Culver wasn't about to give them a warm welcome.
Hold on. Sir, I'm doing something. Can you shut up and sit down?
Absolutely. Trying to find a seat.
That's not shutting up. You want to be held in contempt and go to jail? I asked you a question.
No, sir.
Then shut up.
You might even say the judge didn't give a bleeping bleep. Kevin's sister also had some remarks regarding this shocking incident.
Unacceptable. I was scared to react in any kind of way because I didn't want to go to jail. Blue tape on the benches, we didn't know where to sit because COVID. This judge let his personal feelings take over.
The judge was facing penalties for his angry outburst, but there were some who defended him.
I like him personally. Obviously he was frustrated and it was a bad day.
It's always a bad day. It's always a bad day. Always. Shit happens, but you're not supposed to be acting like that in a courtroom. You're a judge. You gotta hold in that temper. You gotta hold in your mouth. I do get it. But sometimes I get it. Outbursts start and you can't let it go. But he's the judge, he's bigger and he is stronger than that. But hopefully he's doing better.
The problem with it is that judges, like lawyers, you have to be good even on a bad day.
Not that it excuses the behavior, but Judge Culver did end up apologizing to Newton and his sister, only once the hearing had commenced. It just goes to show that even the most respected people can sometimes take their bad days out on the innocent and the unsuspecting. Up next, we have Judge Michael Bachman. He was an ex-magistrate judge in Cincinnati's Hamilton County Court of Common Pleas. He became famous after his unusual activity during court. When Cassandra Jackson missed a deadline for filing a civil protection order, she ended up engaging in an argument with some court employees and began screaming in the hallways. Now, enter Judge Bachman, who was conducting a witness cross-examination in his own courtroom just further down the hall. Now, he claims that it got so loud that he couldn't hear any witness responses over all the commotion. Jackson storms off, but the damage was done as 9 seconds later, Bachman emerges ready to hunt down the culprit. Because there's no audio in these CCTV clips, we'll walk you through what happens next. Jackson does hear the judge shouting after her and turns to respond, but then continues walking. It's at this point, Bachman begins to jog after her enraged and orders her back to his courtroom. Having completely lost his cool at this point, Bachman makes the grave mistake of forcibly guiding Miss Jackson back down the route she had just escaped from by putting his hand on her shoulder.
There's one thing you need to do before you buy anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
He kept his hand there for 23 seconds until he placed her into a seat in the jury box. They continued to exchange words, and things escalated to the point where Bachman demanded deputies to take her into custody. Things ramped up even further as Jackson, feeling like she'd been unjustly held in contempt, tried to escape the madness, jumping out of the jury box and resisting arrest. This was a messy situation, which frankly could and should have been handled better by all parties involved. Both Bachman and Jackson suffered the consequences of this interaction, as she ended up serving 2 days in jail, and Bachman handed in his resignation for putting his hands on the defendant.
Now, if I'm being smart, I do believe now he's fired for doing that. Damn, she gets 2 days in prison, or sorry, jail. Bad. It's not that bad. Like that's like a free day. Most of these people stay in like for like 10, 20, 30, yeah, all the type of stuff. But you know, when you resist arrest, you do end up maybe staying 2, 5, 10, something like that. But glad she's out, and hope she's doing what she needs to do, and that's be better. But I do agree with the person that's talking to us right now. Because there is no audio, so. But
A harsh reminder,
it
it
is
is better to keep your cool than act a fool.
Are you kidding me that it was dismissed and you're bringing up something that was dismissed?
This is Judge Charles Stengel. He was a circuit judge for the
Stingle.
14th Judicial Circuit Court of Illinois in Rock Island County. Before his retirement, Stengel was involved in a case where he ended up putting an attorney firmly in his place. It occurred in the Kristen Holtzman trial. Holtzman was scamming people via a fundraiser where she was raising money to fight brain cancer, which, as it turns out, she didn't actually have.
That's sick. Just scamming people's money and thinking that you had brain cancer. Sending a fundraiser? That's sad, honestly. That's a low life and cold-hearted. That's sad. Hopefully she got guilty, but most of these people get non-guilty, so.
Her defense attorney, Jack Swartz, was trying to undermine the witness's credibility by bringing up legal issues from her past, which were already dismissed by the judge. But Judge Stengel wasn't having any of it.
Oh,
Looks like it was dismissed, however, she was forced to pay restitution.
Are you kidding me that it was dismissed and you're bringing up something that was dismissed? And you know that cannot be impeached? You know what, Mr. Schwartz, you know the rules of Montgomery or the Illinois Supreme Court rules and the rules of evidence regarding impeachment? Do you not?
Chicago.
Yes, I do, Judge.
And how long have you been practicing law to know those rules?
Long time, Judge.
Yes.
Judge Stengel seems pretty aggravated at Mr. Swartz,
Yeah, no, he seems
and things get
aggravated.
even worse as the judge lays into him further.
I gave you time for a recess for you to prepare for this question, to cross-examine this witness. You said that you were ready. And you're telling me you weren't ready?
Ouchie. I wonder what the attorney has to say in his defense.
No, I thought I was ready, Judge.
Well, that's a strong defense there. Perhaps if he'd been prepared, this encounter may never have occurred.
Well, you know, you made a very serious mistake here, Mr. Schwartz, and there are going to be sanctions because you know, and I don't believe that you're saying that you didn't know it wasn't dismissed. You had ample opportunity to know who this witness was. And there are going to be sanctions, and I haven't quite decided what those sanctions are going to be, but I'm going to tell the jury that question was wholly improper.
Something tells me that this attorney won't be too saddened to hear that Judge Stengel is now in retirement. And he probably also won't be trying to use dismissed evidence again in court anytime soon. This is Circuit Judge Bruce Schroeder. He is the longest-serving state court judge in Wisconsin. Schroeder rose to fame after he became the judge on the Rittenhouse trial, one of the most famous trials in the last couple of years. Kyle Rittenhouse is a teenager who gunned down 3 people. Kyle claimed he acted in self-defense and was found not guilty. His trial gained worldwide notoriety, and the judge had an outrageous outburst towards the defense lawyer due to his line of questioning.
Wait, who? Oh!
Your Honor, this was...
Shit. Oh my god. The man that was not guilty, and every single person was like, what the hell? Why is he not guilty? He should be guilty! And like, and like, some of my some of my friends that are African American, and they were like, you know, like, it's insane. They were talking to me about it. I was furious also, you know. I was like, you know, if like you were in that situation, you would be going to jail and stuff, and all the crazy shit. I don't want to get into much detail, but yeah, this case was insane.
That's the subject of the motion. I'm well
Insane,
aware of that.
bro.
And the court
This
left the
case
door
was
open.
insane.
For me, not for
Sorry
you.
for misplacing my words during that explanation. I feel bad. Sorry, guys. Do apologize.
My understanding of
You
your-
should have come and asked.
Things got spicy, but it didn't end
Sorry, I
there.
slipped there.
The judge then proceeded to comment further on the matter.
I
Yeah, this case
denied
was-
it,
This
or I
case is
indicated a
insane.
bias towards denial is what I did. Why would you think that made it
Oh yeah, and he shook hands with Donald Trump.
okay for you without any advance notice to bring this matter before the jury? I was astonished when you began your examination by commenting on the defendant's post-arrest silence. I have no idea why you would do something like that, so I don't know what you're up to.
Schroeder clearly wasn't going to let anything pass, and this defense lawyer was going to be made an example of.
Looks like he's shitting in his pants.
I'm not going to rehash the motion. That's absolutely untrue. And there's no. Your argument's of record. My comments are of record, and why I ruled as I did is of record. There's nothing that I heard in this trial to suggest that anything's changed, even if you're correct in your assumption that you know more than I did at the time. You should have come to the court and say, I want to go into this. Why you would think that you could go into it without any advance notice in the court, I don't understand that. And as the defense is pointing out, you're an experienced trial lawyer, and this should not have been going on.
Schroeder might have let his emotions get the better of him, but he wasn't about to let such a high-profile case get dragged into disrepute over procedural inconsistencies.
You know, he seems like a really good judge, you know. Some judges, you know, some of them are not good, but some of them are really good. But, you know, sometimes it's a bad day and a good day. It's either one or the other. But, yeah, this case was insane, though, too. So I get why he was kind of shaky, too. So.
This is Judge Patrick Dinkelacke. Yes, get your chuckles in about his name, because he wasn't in much of a laughy mood. Dinkelacke, who's on the Hamilton County Court of Common Pleas in Cincinnati, Ohio, that would end up being engraved in history. The well-known case of Judge Tracy Hunter.
Former Cincinnati Judge Tracy Hunter was sentenced to 6 months in jail back in 2014, but she's been appealing the ruling ever since. She was convicted of misusing her position as a judge to help her brother, who was facing an employment dispute over his job in the county. Her lawyer has claimed her actions didn't break the law.
This trial was so outrageous, it made headlines all over the country and received demanding attention from the public, especially the African American community. Many watching in from the outside thought that Judge Hunter was treated unfairly and argued that racism was influencing how she was being prosecuted. Her defense attorney argued that she was indeed the victim of a crime that shouldn't even be considered a crime in the first place.
Judge Hunter has gotten up each morning not knowing whether that was going to be the day that she was going to have to go to jail.
However, after all her appeals were rejected and her sentence was handed down by Judge Dinkelacke, chaos ensues in the courtroom. And a slight disclaimer here, you may want to have your volume settings ready, because it can get a wee bit loud once things begin to kick off.
When you pay the cost of these proceedings. Number 2, you are to do not violate any laws. Number 3, you are to do 6 months in the Hamilton County Justice Center, credit 1 day. Mr. or Ms. Deputy, you take her away.
Ah yes, no better time to pull out the classic "thou shalt not move me" trick by relinquishing all muscle activation and planting yourself to the spot. This really does seem to be such a mature way to avoid a jury ruling. After being dragged from the courtroom, Tracy complained that she was injured by the officer who dragged her. And of course, as you can see, her heinous and truly brutal handling must have caused some pretty severe injuries. It's really a miracle she even survived. But in all seriousness, this was an unexpected reaction, which has more place showing up in a playground than in a courtroom between two judges. So, which judges were justified in their eruptions, and which ones clearly stepped over the line? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, leave a like, and as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.
This was an insane video. That was when judges erupt in the courtroom. Today was Monday. There will be another video Wednesday. Sorry about that. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn that bell on, and I'll see you in the next time I upload. Peace. Bing bong!